Center number 5 is going to be another research day for you. And to give you a little more guidelines on what you need to be doing here, you'll see that there's a brand new Center number 5 7 Wonders assignment. If you scroll down, you'll still see your 7 Wonders project that has your research chart, the directions, but you're going to be wanting to work from this one primarily if you're done researching. So the best thing to do is to start with the 7 Wonders checklist. And it's going to give you some steps to walk through, because by the time you finish this center, you should be done with your research. Given the amount of time that you've had in computer class, I would think that you've had enough time to really get a good understanding of your topic. So some of you might be ready to move on, and that's what this screencast will help you with. So it says to use the checklist to ensure that you have all the required components to get the best possible grade on your 7 Wonders research project. Check out the rubric in Google Classroom. And I'll go over that again here in a second, but that's your rubric for the assignment for the entire project. So for your research, by the end of this center, you should have all of your research completed so you can start thinking about working on your trifold. And as far as research, you should have one print source chart completely filled in, meaning you found as much information as you could from that source. And depending on your source, that might not be a lot. Some of you just found something in an encyclopedia and it only had maybe 5 or 6 lines of facts in it. If that's all the source gave you, then that's all that you can put there. You may need to add a third, a fourth, or a fifth source if you find that that source didn't give you very much. But as long as you attempted to use a print source, that's all I really care about. Then you should have 2 online source charts filled in completely. Any CRAP forms for your online sources other than InfoOhio, the maps and photographs that you are planning on using on your poster, and you need to make sure you have the URLs with them. And at this point, if you feel that you haven't gathered an acceptable amount of information to be an expert on your wonder, then you may need to add more charts. So here's my research chart. Let's say that I have my 3 charts filled in and I don't feel like I've gotten a whole lot of information. Then I can just copy that chart and make a brand new one and make this a 4th source. And you can get it, the information from wherever you find useful. And you could keep doing that. Again, I've talked about how many rows of information I would expect you should have been able to get. So 5 rows of facts from each source is not enough. And if that's all you could find, then you really needed to go to some other sources. Here's an example of the photos I had. Here's another photo I plan to use. So these are all photos I'm going to use on my trifold poster board with the URL. Okay. All right, so if you have all your research gathered and you feel pretty good about it, then it's time to start thinking about your trifold poster. If you you can choose whether you want to work on your trifold poster at home or at school. If you want to work on them at school, I am going to give you a day or 2 before it's due, probably the week before March 22nd, to work on this, so next week. But you would need to come into class with all of your materials printed off so that you can cut and paste and glue it onto your board. All right, so for your trifold poster, you're going to need a good map that shows the location of your wonder. And on mine, I had a couple of different maps. I had one that shows the layout of what the compound looks like at if you went to go visit the Great Pyramid. And I also found this, maybe it's not so much a map, but a diagram of the structure itself and what it's like inside. You need a photograph of your wonder, and I'm going to think that you're going to probably have more than that. Don't worry about if you don't have a colored printer. I ended up taking mine to Staples, but I'm really not concerned with that. Maybe if you put it on a colorful background in some way, then I don't really want you spending money to get your photographs on there. You need a caption for the photo, at least one of the main photos that you use, showing why that photo or how that photo is tied to your research. And then I thought it might be fun to have some fun facts. And since it's 7 Wonders, I thought 7 fun facts about your wonder. And these should be things that you found on your research chart that you might want to highlight to somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of time to read through all your information. You're just showing them the 7 most interesting facts about it. And so what you can use here, use this as a pre-write as a means of just jotting those ideas down. So again, I'll show you my example. My 7 fun facts about the Great Pyramid. Here's where I typed all my facts in here, put them in neatly, proofread it, wrote it so that when I print it out, I can just cut them out and put them on my poster. And then you're going to be doing a claims and evidence paragraph. Now, we will talk a little bit more about this in class next week, but if you're at the point where you're ready to start thinking about that, you have a little pre-write here that you can use. So the purpose of your paragraph is to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that your wonder should be voted on as one of the 7 wonders. To start your paragraph, you're going to want to start with a hook. How are you going to get people interested in wanting to read on? So I have a little video here. It's kind of a fun video, but also very educational as a means of finding some different examples of hooks that you could use. Then you're going to make your claim sentence, which is your topic sentence stating what you want your wonder to, why your wonder should be one of the wonders. And I don't want this to be in first person, so don't start your paragraph with the place I'm going to tell you about is. Think about a creative and descriptive way. You can look at my example in class if you need help. Then you need 3 pieces of evidence to support why your wonder should be voted on. And these are going to be your facts from research. You should always start with your very best fact after you've hooked your reader in to give your best piece of information to convince them. And then after you give your fact, of course, just any time you give evidence, you always want to explain it. Evidence number 2 with an explanation, evidence 3 with an explanation, and some type of summary sentence. And that summary sentence should not be, and this is why, or these are the reasons why I think. So again, I'll have my poster board in class on Monday so you can take a look at it to get some ideas, but this is what you have time to work on. So if you're done with research, you can start working on this pre-write. You can make sure you have all the photographs that you want to use. If you find any other things that you want to use, maybe put them all on this page so that you can print off one page that has all your information on it.